And there's our two birds basically completed. Now we have to go on to the thistles in the background. And now to the wet into wet background. We'll start with the Aureolin yellow because it's such a lovely transparent colour to add as a wash. I'm going to add it to the whole of the background and then we'll drop the greens into it. The first green that I'm going to drop in is Viridian. It's a stronger, more cool acidic green, and then I shall drop in some sap green afterwards for the warmer. All I'm doing is following the photographs very loosely, painting in the dark leaf areas and leaf shapes, but at some stages you'll see I paint in some of the stems and branches as well. And now to one of my darkest greens where I've mixed Prussian blue and some sap green together. Let the medium and the watercolour do the work. Let the eye find the story. Paint nice and loosely, nice and freshly. Don't go over it again. Put it in and leave it alone. If you painted your initial coat of masking fluid properly, you can rest assured that anything you paint over the top is going to enhance it. It's going to be loose. Because when you lift the masking fluid, those shapes are going to show nice and tight, nice and sharp, nice and neatly afterwards. And then to my final dark colours, indigo or Prussian blue with some burnt sienna. Afterwards we can wipe off the masking fluid, and that's when the final delicate work starts. In this case I'm starting off with a very thin wash of cobalt violet. Then I drop in some layers of cobalt blue in the cool areas of shadow. In some cases these are just tinted into blocks, in others I've actually textured them across using the fine brush to make the small marks of the thistles. With watercolour it's a standard technique to work from light to darks, but I also like to work from my cools to my warms, in this case adding some quinquedrome orange. And for my last darks we're back to the Prussian blue and burnt sienna, and also some very deep purple. Notice the difference here where we're painting wet over dry and getting hard detailed edges, whereas earlier on we were painting wet into wet and wet next to wet. Well, that's it for this little watercolour. I'm now going to paint a much larger composition using the same photographs and a few more to do a larger acrylic painting of a whole family of the birds, using completely different techniques of course by painting lights over darks rather than darks over lights.